Hey guys, welcome back to our real love scenario. Shout out to all our real lovers out there.
Hi guys, welcome back.
Welcome back to our show. We appreciate you guys for tuning in every single week.
Yes.
We love our real lovers.
We do, real deep. Like in love with you. I for sure am in love with you.
Yes.
I think Dre is too.
I am.
Yes.
I am.
No.
Let us know if we drop some like merch or something, if you would like get some, just to show you really part of the crew. You know what I mean?
Period. And like, what kind of merch? You like hats? Like, I love hats. I love dad caps. That's my thing.
Dad hats?
Yeah, like not the fitted, but like
the little snap in the back.
You can bend the brim.
Yeah,
it's easy. I feel like those are like dainty. But yes, I love a good like comfortable chunky hoodie. That's just it's just my preferences. But what y'all want?
I'll figure out what we can make. We gonna put some merch out there, see what we can get.
Let's do it.
I'm excited. The owner of the Cube is looking at me directly in my face right now, but we're podding.
Shout out to the Cube.
Yes.
Our home.
The Cube is where we film our podcasts. And they have been gracious hosts for us the whole time.
Yeah, so shout out to Dr. Tam. We love you, girl. We appreciate you.
We appreciate you so much.
She at the door like, y'all on.
Come in.
Come on in here. We're talking about you.
This episode of I've been married for 12 years.
Say hi to Dr. Tam. Say hi to the people.
Hey.
This is the amazing Black female owner
you need to kind of
the Cube.
There you go.
Oh, you smell good. Yeah. Good to see you.
I hope y'all giving good advice in here.
We are always.
Know if you need my area of expertise.
That was a nice surprise.
Nice little cameo there.
And she smells amazing.
We love our friends. Shout out to her for being, like I said, amazing and letting us have our podcast in this space. Make sure you check them out.
She's one of the original real lovers.
Yes, she is. Original real lover for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Let me read this review.
Okay.
So I went back a little bit. Back to like one of the original reviews that we had. And this is from La81591.
Okay. Hey, La.
La. We just gonna call you La.
What's up, La?
La said exciting as a subject. I'm so glad I have found a podcast that talks about the issues in bedroom intimacy, and I love the welcoming of write-ins. We need this more in the universe. It's like a unique style of therapy.
Yay.
I like that description. Maybe we should add that in the description of our show. Unique style of therapy.
I love it. That is good. La, you did that.
Thank you.
I'm so glad that you love that. I love. Look, Drake said La. No, that's so good. I'm glad that people see that. Someone said on one of my clips recently, I just need Rhonda to be my therapist. And I'm like, it's not a bad idea. I think I got to go back to school though.
Right.
Yeah, I think I got to go back to school, but I'm thankful for the people that find it to be that. We're like good friends in your head, that through our lived experiences just try to help you navigate to maybe do some of the things we didn't get right or don't do what we did because we didn't always make the best decisions.
I get that in the DM sometimes too, like a guy or a woman, I can't remember, reached out to me and it was like, oh yeah, like cool, the podcast thing is cool, but do you do like individual coaching or therapy? And it's like, no, don't do that.
No,
but,
not yet. I think we'll get into the coaching space, but we just getting started, y'all. But we appreciate that you trust us that much. So thank you, La.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Style of therapy.
So I'm gonna hop into our real life love scenario.
Let's do it.
This is via the neighborhood talk, but via Ari Lennox.
Okay.
Ari Lennox put out a tweet that said, I made myself unattractive by wanting love so bad, by speaking about it, complaining about it. I wish I didn't crave it. I wish it didn't blind me or make me blind, weak, and so dangerously trusting. I wish I had no love inside of me. Wish I didn't have emotions. Wish I didn't care. It's deep.
I feel like it's a song.
It does. Like I know. Well, she has one song that ends like "Wish I didn't care," but I don't know.
Does those not the words before it?
I know it's like I'm on easy street. And the rain on the team.
Yeah.
But I don't think that that's the.
I wish I didn't care.
Maybe we should check the lyrics. But anyways,
Sorry, we love music. We set right off into that like it was
did.
nothing. Wow, I'm trying to find the name of the song, but yes.
But anyway, Ari Lennox, I like her because it's called Whipped Cream. Is the name of the song. But that I'm looking up the lyrics and it doesn't look like that is part
So that's
of the
really
lyrics.
from her heart.
Yes. And I love Ari Lennox because she's very vulnerable with her music, and that is when we first started the show. I told Rhonda, I was like, that's one person that like is on my list that
Yeah,
I'll be
we would
like,
love to
dang,
get Aaron,
that's the one person
Ari
that I
in here.
really want on this show to talk about love, because I love her music and how vulnerable she is in it. But I thought it was just an interesting conversation about women who like really, 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 really want love and haven't really been able to find it. How that can almost put you in a position of where you can at times settle for somebody who shows you like attention and
Yeah.
even sometimes love bombs you. Like that was makes you vulnerable for things in that space, because you're desiring this attention, you're desiring this love, and you don't understand why for some reason it misses you, especially somebody, let's say like in the Ari Lennox category. And I noticed that women do this a lot. My wife has done it, other women I've dated have done it. And not saying that men don't do it, but I hear it a lot in women, to where you'll look at other women or other situations and be like, how her?
Right.
Or like, how does she get, like, I got this going on, I got this going on, I get this going on. Why did you choose that person over me? Or how is this person found somebody, but I still haven't found somebody? What's wrong with me? Why can't I find my person? I can imagine it gets very discouraging. So I just thought it was interesting that she is questioning, like, is it her own fault of why she doesn't have this type of love, maybe because she's craving it too much, to where I don't know, she's overexerting herself, or maybe thinking too hard, or falling too deep too quickly, like the reasons of why she feel like she can't receive this type of love.
I think it's a question that a lot of single people who desire romantic partnership do find themselves asking themselves. You may not ask it on Twitter. You may not be as big as Ari, so then it makes it to like a blog site. But I think a lot of us have that feeling of like, I wish that I didn't want it. It would just feel better to not even have the desire, because then that way I wouldn't trip about it. I wouldn't think about it so much. I would not think that something was wrong with me. I wouldn't put myself in situations where I set myself up to be love bombed. Like, I would have better discernment to know that that's like a bad thing and it's not a good thing, but because I'm so desperate to get into a relationship, I will take it and hope for the best. I will get into a situation not vetting it properly just to have partnership because I crave it so much. And I think that if you have that feeling, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that you probably aren't ready to be in a relationship, and at least not in the best way possible, because you are probably going to go into that relationship being too dependent on it.
Yeah.
So too much of your emotions will be wrapped up in the success of that relationship. And so when things go left in that relationship, or let's just say the relationship doesn't flourish to whatever you're looking for long term, people like that, or people, when you feel that way and you go into a relationship, you'll probably wind up feeling very lost when that's done, because you put so much of your identity into that. I had several aha moments when I recently interviewed Dr. Chris Marsh at the Gathering Spot, which thank you for that opportunity. I greatly appreciate it.
Shout out the Gathering Spot. Shout out Keo.
Yes, thank you, Keo. You were a doll, such a peach, and I know she listens to the show. But Dr. Chris Marsh authored a book recently called The Love Jones Cohort: Single and Living Alone in the Black Middle Class. And I learned so much from her, and her ability to find a great deal of joy in singleness, and shifting this mindset that, like, romantic relationships are not the end all be all. They're great when they're great. They're great for so many people. So many people feel better when they have a life partner, like a romantic life partner. But what I loved about our conversation mainly was that she talked about how we don't invest as much as we should into the other relationships in our lives. And the reason she is so joyful in her life without a husband, without a boyfriend, is because all the other relationships in her life are really good. Like her relationship with her students are amazing. Her relationship with her friends, they're
still feels
amazing.
fulfilled.
She feels very fulfilled. And she's like, and people think that I don't want a man, or I'm telling people not to want a man. She's like, no, I just want someone that is going to contribute to my life. That's it. And I'm not willing to take a short on that just to say I'm in a relationship. So I think using that to talk to Ari, it's like, yes, perhaps you do need to change your perspective a bit on how much you focus on the desire of it. I don't think it's anything wrong with saying you want to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
I want to be in a relationship. I want to be married one day. I very much do. But if I trust that God knows that desire, I have to let him drive. I have to let him do it when he is ready for me to have it, because if he gives it to me, then he knows that I'm ready to have it and I can handle it. So yes, don't fixate on it. I'm not saying that fixating on it is keeping her away from it. I just think that this idea of like numbing yourself from wanting something that you really want is actually the flag. The flag is that you're trying to like not want it. No, it's okay to want it, but it's also okay to be patient about when it happens. You told God, let's just say it already told God, I want a man. And God said, okay, cool. Got you. Heard you. You're going to have a man. He did not tell you tomorrow.
Yeah.
He did not tell you next year. He may not be giving you the man of your life for 10 years.
Yeah.
You say you really want something. Are you willing to wait for it to be right? So that's where I'm able to push back on when I have that negative self-talk of singleness. I say, God knows what I want. And all I need to do is prepare myself to be ready for it when he gives it to me.
Yeah.
And that's all that you can focus on. And then focus on the joys of the other relationships in my life, because they do actually bring me a lot of happiness, a lot of peacefulness. They pour into me in ways that some cases have never gotten from a romantic relationship. So I'm grateful either way. I know God got me. I'm one of his favorites.
For sure. And it's like you said, not making sure you don't internalize those things and think that it's really something wrong with you, or that you're less than, or blaming yourself, because that can impact your life outside of just relationships in every aspect of your life. If this is something that's weighing heavy on your heart and you feel inadequate in, you trying to pursue a relationship, like I said, that can affect you in so many other ways. And also understanding Taronda's point is that preparation is still progress. Like just because you're preparing for something doesn't mean you're being stagnant. Preparation is still progressing towards what you ultimately want to get. Because if you have the perfect man who comes along, but you're not prepared, then what's the point? You lose out. So you want to make sure that when the opportunity comes, you're prepared. So that's still progressing towards what you want, because it needs to be that perfect fit. So just make sure you keep that in mind when trying to pursue someone, or if you're somebody out there in singleness, or feel like Ari does, just try to keep those things in mind.
Yes.
And we love Ari here. So
we do.
Come on the show, please.
Yes. Yes, please.
Please.
Yes, please.
All right, this real life scenario here. Are you ready?
I am ready. Let's do it. So This is from Lee. She says, hi guys, I've watched every single episode and I love this show so much. I've been wanting to write in for weeks, but I was so waiting for someone else to tell my story and it's never come up. So here I am telling it myself because I really need help. I've been in a relationship for 4 years with an amazing man who I look forward to marrying one day. We're both in our 30s, we don't have kids, and we don't live together, but we spend a lot of time together in each other's homes. We get along so well, even with us being partially long distance, because he travels out of the country for work often. This man is my person, and I couldn't ask for a better partner and relationship. That's amazing. My issue is that his sisters and his mom absolutely loved his ex-girlfriend and they still have a close relationship with her today. She is invited to family functions, which, as you can imagine, is weird at times. My boyfriend has expressed to his family how this makes him and I feel, and while they have made slight adjustments, it is still very obvious that they will not sever their relationship with her. Recently, I saw that his sisters went on vacation with her, and I was really hurt, only because they never reach out to me to spend time locally, and when I invite them out, they usually say they aren't available. I just don't know how to move around this because I'm used to having a good relationship with my partner's family. And in this case, I don't know if I ever will. This isn't a deal breaker for my relationship. However, whenever I bring it up to him lately, we have slight disagreements about it, and it feels like he wants me to just drop it and understand that he can't do anything more to fix it. Ugh, do you have any advice for us? P.S. His ex is single, which I think is a really important part of the story.
Okay.
Right.
I wonder if we're going to agree on this. I'm very interested to see like what we may think about it.
Yeah.
So
thank you, Lee, by the way, for writing in. We appreciate it.
Thank you for writing in. Do we know how long he was with the ex-girlfriend?
I don't know. She did not say.
Okay.
But I'm gonna assume that it was a while, and that's only
because the relationship,
the family
is so
relationship is so strong. Yeah, so I'm gonna assume she was around for a while.
Okay, I'll let you open it up. What's your thoughts on this?
My immediate, very brief thought is, I don't like that. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
What you gonna do about it though?
Ooh, that's the fun part. Like, she has a person that she really loves. She's made that super clear that this is her person. They have a great relationship. She looks forward to marrying him, and she couldn't have asked for a better relationship.
Yes.
So if those things were true for the situation that I was in, I would stay with him.
Yeah.
I would detach myself mostly from his family and just not seek it. It will bother me, but I get over it. We got my family. We got our friends. What I just said a few minutes ago, there are lots of relationships in your life. It's better to focus on the ones that are going well than to focus on the ones that aren't.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do. But I would be very plucked by it. Very plucked by it, because people just aren't considerate of other people's feelings.
Who's not being considerate in this situation?
The family.
How?
Because, okay, if we have a family function, like your family has a family function, and you invite me and you invite her, you know that this is, number one, because my man told y'all that this makes me uncomfortable. So I'm probably going to be uncomfortable in this space. That's not being considerate.
But she said that they made adjustments. So what I'm thinking is that they probably made adjustments to where, they invite
her around less.
They don't invite her around when she's probably there. But her issue is that they don't seem to sever the relationship, which I don't think they should have to do.
No, I agree. They can have a relationship with the ex. I just think they can have a relationship with her as long as it doesn't bleed into the new relationship and into the relationship that I'm now having with him.
I mean, it's ultimately going to have some type of effect. So this is the thing. The man ended up being in a situation where he was probably with this woman for a long time and thought that there was a future where it ended up not working out. Over this time, especially if the family thought that was going to be his person, they built a strong relationship, maybe even a friendship. Maybe you feel like this person is family. Who knows? Like sometimes exes be watching kids and like doing all types of stuff. Every single gathering, been through ups and downs. So it's super close to this person.
Yeah.
And now he chose to move on for whatever reason. He's dating somebody new. One thing with family, especially like in-laws and stuff like that, like it's family. It doesn't mean you're friends. Doesn't mean that people enjoy hanging out with each other, going to the bar, stuff like that. If they actually built a genuine friendship with the girl and they like hanging out and they became friends and the girl didn't do nothing to them. Obviously the boyfriend and them didn't have, the same views or whatever. So they're not together anymore. But all that being said is like they enjoy the time with the ex-girlfriend because that's a friendship and a relationship that they built. And it's like, damn, I'm just going to cut this person off because my son or my brother decided to date somebody new. I'm not going to be disrespectful. I'm not going to do anything like that. But I think it's inevitable that it will kind of bleed over because they really like the girl. So it's just, I mean, 4 years is a long time if she's been with her man for that long. But I don't think that there's any disrespect that they're doing. If they continue to bring the girl around purposely knowing that she's going to be there to try to like egg on or irk a situation, that's one thing. But if they're being respectful and it's like, okay, like want to invite her to stuff, it's not appropriate, but they're still hanging out with her, like I don't think that's an issue.
Yeah, I mean, you can't control people's relationships with whomever they want to have them with, because I agree with you. When you're with someone, you develop a relationship, you think that this is going to be that. That's all fine and well. I do think the shared spaces, though, gets to be awkward and uncomfortable. Like, I would not want to be in either one of the women's positions. As the ex, I don't actually want to come around and sit in a room with my ex and his new girlfriend and amongst the rest of y'all. But that's the environment. Like, I don't necessarily, even if I'm good on him, like I don't want to see him anymore. Like we're done. The relationship is wrapped up.
Unless she that Shelby type.
Right. Where Shelby's like, I'm gonna show him something. And who knows, that could be a part of it. She doesn't go into that if the ex, but I think her putting that PS at the end, like, she's single, by the way, which I think is an important part of the story. I feel like if she was in a relationship, would she be doing all of this? That's tricky.
Because
would you be bringing your boy? Because then her boyfriend would be like,
why you keep hanging out with
why
your
you
ex-family?
keep hanging out with your ex-family? Like, you going to his mother's birthday party because you have a great relationship with his mom. When you can celebrate his mother's birthday, you can tell her happy birthday, you can take her out, you can send her a gift, but do you have to be amongst the family? Like, do you have to physically be there acting like you're now the what? Like, if we had to give her a family assignment, since you come into family functions, what's your title? Because you got mom, right? You got the sisters, you got the aunts, you got cousins.
Family friend.
You got, no, that's not a family title. That's a friend. So what family title would she get?
It'd be family friends at the cookouts.
It does. But I'm just saying, what's a family title that she would hold? Because if I become his wife, then I'm your daughter-in-law. That's a family title. I'm your sister-in-law. That's a family title. What's your family title? The former ex-girlfriend, almost wife, but not. What is it? You're not
like,
the cousin.
She gonna be like, "What's your family title? Girlfriend? That ain't family."
Yes, it is. Girlfriend is usually on its way, or it's on its way. So it's like, do you really need to be here? Yes, you could want to be here. You could want to be here, and it might be cute for you to be here because we like you. But do you actually serve a purpose in this space? And is your purpose either a basic purpose that's just like, I'm here to have a good time? Because you could be here to have a good time, but I would never want to be somewhere where, like, I know someone feels uncomfortable by my presence when my presence is not necessary. My presence here is not necessary. It is simply a choice. It's because we enjoy each other, and we can enjoy each other when it's not this mixed company.
So this is the thing, right? Sister has a birthday party. Like, yo, I'm throwing a birthday party. I want all my people there, my friends, my family. Ex-girlfriend is her friend.
Well, yeah.
I want her there. But I want to invite my brother too. My brother's like, yo, I'm gonna invite my girl. I've been with her for 4 years. Like, she coming through. That's the situation like that is unavoidable. And I don't feel like the sister's wrong or has to be like, oh, because my brother dated this girl, I can't invite her if she's actually my friend.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know. I just,
it's tough.
I don't think that the ex-girlfriend is wrong. I mean, in certain situations, because I don't know all the situations that Lee has been put in, but certain situations, it's like, okay, if you're a good person, you should look at a situation and say, I'm just not gonna come because I feel like that's gonna be awkward for so and so. And then I feel like also, a lot of times, if somebody really has no intentions or no bad intentions, they'll do everything they can to disarm the situation. So they might even go up to the girls like, hey, can I talk to you for a second?
Right.
Like, I know this may seem a little weird. Like, we had a relationship. It was a while ago. Like I just got really close with his sisters and stuff like that, and those are like my girls. And I don't want you to think that, you know, I'm here trying to disrupt anything
Yeah.
or trying to make you feel uncomfortable or whatever. Because I've even seen situations like that to where they became cool, like the ex and
And
the
the new
current,
girl. Yes,
like, have
yes.
become cool, and the guy's kind of looking like, huh,
If only I knew.
what?
If only we could take this
Interesting.
somewhere else.
Wow, Rhonda went very.
I know how y'all think, seriously. So it's
But
okay.
sometimes, yeah. But sometimes it's like I don't like this. Like I don't
Cause
like
y'all
them.
exchanging stories, or
Yeah, I don't like.
he
y'all
do that.
getting
He
off
do that
on-
with you too, girl. Drove me crazy.
This is what you gotta do. I mean, like it's that situation. But I feel like if a woman's in that situation or somebody's in that situation and they don't have any ill intent and they have a good level of emotional intelligence, they'll try to disarm the situation as much as possible because they don't want no smoke, they don't want no beef, they don't want no issues. Like it is what it is, and they're happy for you and stuff like that. Because I don't know if even he broke up with her or she broke up with him. I don't know what the situation is.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like it's messy. It can get messy if the person is like actively trying to get the person back. But also, I feel like in those situations, people like to be in situations to where they feel like wanted or almost feel like superior to a certain extent. And
Yeah.
being in that family environment can make you feel like I'm hot stuff almost. And like, you know, like she's here, but like, you know, everybody want me to,
You know they love me.
you know, they love me.
They love me.
Sometimes
No VELUA. They love me.
Sometimes people want to be in that environment to feel like they hot stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, and I think, and we so often talk about like the mature side of these scenarios. We assume everyone is their higher self and like really
Yes, we do.
mature, and a lot of times
Falsely.
we know damn well y'all not. And I think that's the part that I'm thinking about. Like I have a friend who has this dynamic in her life. She is the ex,
Yeah.
and she was with him for almost 10 years. So she had a great relationship with several of his family members. They love her, and they still do to this day. And he is in a new relationship. He's been in a relationship with the new person for years. He has a child in that new relationship. And my friend, you know, her main purpose of being around the family is just genuine love, organic. We like each other. Like I love his mother, like I love my mother. I love his sister as if I had my own. But I'm not going to sit here and say that there have not been times where like she knows that the new girl is going to be there, and she's not like taking a little more time on her outfit for that particular outing, or she's not making sure that like every T is crossed and every I is dotted.
sure.
That is absolutely happening. It is
Human nature.
yeah, it's like I'm about to go around him, and she doesn't want him. You know, she's done with the
But you
relationship.
just gotta let people know. Like sometimes you
And
just,
I feel like you carry that energy. Like you just
For
say
sure.
you come in like I'm that. It's
I'm
like
here.
you always hug and kiss his mom. But this particular day, it might be a whole extra razzle dazzle on it, like, look at you. Look. But it's really because the new girl is in the room, and you're not completely trying to throw it in her face, but you also not trying to not throw it in her face.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
actually relish in her discomfort. You're relishing in the fact that she's over there feeling like, I'll never measure up. And I think I don't necessarily love that. I'm not selling you, and for me, this would not probably be a situation for me unless it just happened. Like I was with a man for 20 years. It would have to be a really long time. But I would like to think that even in those situations, I would be more cognizant of like, because if I were the woman in the position, if I were the new woman, I would not want that feeling. And I don't want you to like what you just talked about. That was mature. Her going over to her and disarming the situation and saying, hey, I know that this looks awkward. I'm sure that it does not feel good. But I just want to give you reassurance of a couple of things. One, I completely have a relationship with them, and it's genuine and it's there for the right reasons. Two, I'm good on your partner. I respect your relationship, and I hope that you both are really happy with each other. You look happy, whatever. And then 3, I will, and as much as I can, make adjustments, because it's important that you're comfortable. Because when I was with him, I was comfortable, right? I didn't have to deal with the ex that the family loved, because you probably the first and only one that his family has that with, right? So you do have some sort of an advantage. And I think as the person who is in the position to have more power, if you will, because you have the ear and eyes of his family members, that it would be nice and very mature for you to give the new person reassurance, especially because a big part of being in a relationship is like, okay, his family likes me. Like you get these benchmarks and you feel like, okay, we going in the right direction. So it would, of course, make her think, even though could be wrong, Lee could be wrong, his family doesn't dislike her. They just closer to the ex.
Yeah.
But it can make you think, his mom is never gonna like me like he likes her. And it's like, like she likes her. And it's like, yeah, she might not, but it doesn't mean mom doesn't have room for you as well. It doesn't mean that. So I think there needs to be some additional conversation, and perhaps not so much with your boyfriend, because you've already explained that to him and he's already tried to talk to his family and they've made, I guess, whatever adjustments they're comfortable with making, which I'm thinking is probably bringing the girl around less. But I don't know. It would feel awkward to me, especially if, like, when I'm greeting you or I'm inviting you out, I'm blocked or I'm told no, or you're just not as warm and fuzzy when I'm actually trying. That would it would make me, it would hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
It would definitely hurt my feelings.
I think so. A few things. I feel like you just have to let the relationship come naturally. Because if you're pressing it too much, because it doesn't sound like they don't like you. They just have built a relationship with the ex, and have history and stuff like that. So I think that just being yourself and not focusing on that. Because number one, the most important person is your man.
Yeah.
And as long as he's down with you, he's there for you. That's all that really matters. You don't have to be best friends with your, in-laws or anything like that. And the relationship grows over time. So it's like, just give it time, give it space. Like, as you continue to be with your man, if you get married to your man, like, the relationship will continue to foster and build and grow. So don't be pressed, because the more you think about it, the more you're going to be comparing it to something else. And then you just going to get upset. Because that's one of the biggest things too, is like, she was hurt that she'll reach out to them and they don't want to hang out with her, but then they'll go out with the ex. It's like, don't take that personally. Like, they may have an allegiance to the ex. That's a possible thing, but it's nothing that I feel like is like inappropriate. Like, they're entitled to hang out with who they want to hang out with. They're not entitled to have a like allegiance to you, or necessarily they're your boyfriend's sister. They'll be nice, they'll be cordial, they'll be respectful, but they don't have to have a friendship.
You don't.
Not necessary.
Yeah.
But I think also in this situation too, is just making sure that you're secure in like who you are and yourself and all that. Because I've been, whenever I've dated, like, moms have always loved me. Nice, young, handsome black man, got a lot going for himself. Like, moms always loved me. But also I know that, even though this is not the same, but it's kind of the same, I have a lot of friends who are women who, when they date guys, the guys are like insecure about the relationship I have with my friend.
Yeah.
For different reasons. Like, I have a friend who, like, every guy she dated, like, thought her and I were like messing around, or thought her and I were something. And merely off of the fact that it was just like, she was an attractive girl, I was an attractive guy, and we were close friends. And they're like, it's no way. Like, no way y'all not doing something. Like, you gotta be. Like, it gotta be something going on. But I feel like if you're secure in yourself, like, these thoughts don't really be in your head, or like, you don't really be thinking about it that much. So I feel like that's the thing too, is that, even if somebody is around, like being secure in yourself and you're like, I'm good. Like, this is my man. She could try all she wants. She could dance. She can roll out here naked. Like, he still ain't gonna go for it because he got me.
Yeah.
So it's like, I ain't gonna be bothered by that. You know. So
I feel like I feel like in these types of scenarios where your current partner, so your boyfriend's ex, is more loved by his family than you are loved by his family, I think there just really needs to be open lines of communication. That helps on all fronts.
Sure.
Like not being pressed, like you said, like I agree. Don't be too pressed for the relationship because all relationships have to come together organically, just like they have to fall apart organically. You can't manufacture this daughter-in-law vibe with his mom if it's just not time for that yet. But I think vulnerability does play a part in this too. The conversation with your partner is probably very vulnerable because he sees you saying like, this hurts me, or I just don't understand. He's getting it very raw and likely very vulnerable. But if you have some form of a relationship with his mom and his sisters, it might require you to be a bit vulnerable in those conversations as well. Again, not being pressed for it, not even telling them that it hurts you, like not even saying that, but just being like, you know what, I have really enjoyed the time that we've spent together and I would love it if we could spend, more time together. Or just when you think of his mother, call her and just spend some time with her, like on the phone, like, how are you? You need anything? Again, if that's natural to you and you're not being pressed for it. But I think the other piece of the transparency, especially if it comes to a crossroad where it's like, she's going to be here, right? Like, I can't get rid of her. So it's very much that if I can't beat them, join them type of vibe, where you do just get to talk to the ex directly. Maybe it's you that needs to reach to the ex. If the ex is not going to reach to you, introduce yourself like, hey, I know that you are my man's ex-girlfriend, and obviously this is a bit awkward, but I don't want it to be, right? I don't want it to be awkward. I'm trying to work through my feelings about it. And here's how you could possibly help me. And not in a snarky, nasty way. I know it's going to be hard, especially sometimes for us, because it will, how you can help? You could stop coming around. That'd be great if you could skip a couple of these family functions because you're not family no more. I know that that's how we might want to say it, but a better way of saying it is like, it's just certain things that make me uncomfortable. Or when you come, it would be really nice if we could speak. Because sometimes that's the thing too. The ex is here, the current is here, but then they have no communication, not even speaking to each other. That's an instant feeling of like, you don't like me or I don't like you.
And it's not even because they don't like each other. It's like awkward.
It's just who you are and who I am. We're not supposed to talk to each other.
How do I approach this conversation? Yeah.
Yeah. Like if I come into a function and I know no one but the person I came there with, I'm going to still speak to everybody that I encounter. So let's not make it weird by avoiding each other because you're the ex and I'm the current. Let's break down those barriers. And like you said, y'all could very well like each other. Because at the end of the day, she's a woman, you're a woman. I'm sure there's commonalities and likely common interests. But the reason that I say that conversation might be really important, because then you get to talk to her directly and hopefully get a sense of if her intentions are pure or if they are with malice. If she's acting a certain way, holding her body language a certain way, avoiding you or doing different things, then you might really understand that, oh, she really around because she still wants him. And she's hoping that she'll get a second chance by way of his family. And then last but not least, for him, it is creating boundaries in the communication that your family members have with her and with you about her. Because I know, like with my friend, and I'm not trying to tell her business, but it's certain things that his family members say to her about his current relationship that they should not be saying to her. It totally gives her this mindset of that relationship's some bullshit. Like it does. It very much does. Or the mom might say things like, he should have married you. It's like that might really be mom's feeling.
Yeah.
But mom, can you not say that to my ex? Can you please not say that to my ex? Like I know that that's what you feel, but that's a boundary that I just don't want you crossing, because it then gives my ex possibly this mindset of she has a chance with me and my relationship doesn't deserve respect. She may even think that I don't respect my girlfriend when whole time I do.
Yeah.
You the one that don't respect my girlfriend.
For sure.
So it's a lot of conversations that need to happen here in a vulnerable way and in a way that creates healthy boundaries so that things don't get mixed up, because that's the reason why these situations aren't comfortable. It's because there's no real good communication. And so everybody's left to assume a bunch of stuff. He's assuming that you're not hearing him. He's assuming that you want him to chastise his family. And it's like, dog, I can't keep doing that. You're assuming that the ex still wants him because you ain't never had a conversation with. And the family might be assuming that you're not going to be as nice, as sweet, as whatever, as the ex, which is why they hold on to her instead of giving you a fair chance. It's a lot of assumptions. And everybody, I think, just needs to have some good, healthy, vulnerable, boundary-filled communication around how we can just make this work. Because if she's going to be around, then let's just make it comfortable for all of us, me included, especially if he's going to marry me. If I got to let the ex got to be here for the next 20, 30 years, okay.
Yeah.
Let's just figure out how to do it in a way that doesn't make me feel like y'all hate me.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I would tell her to keep trying with the sister and the mom. Like, for some people, you're like, they don't want to do it, whatever. But I would just say keep trying. Find creative ways that where you can try to spend time with them or build a relationship with them. And it's not, and create an environment to where they understand it's not you versus her, like the other girl. It's just like, hey, like, I've been with my boyfriend for 4 years. We're looking to get married. I just think it's important that we just get to know each other more and spend some time together and stuff like that. So I don't think that that's an issue, like to reach out and do that. But I encourage you just to keep trying, even if you get rejected. At a certain point, I think that they'll start to give in because they see the effort that you're trying to put in to make it happen.
Yeah.
And to try to get to know them and build a relationship with them.
Agreed. Very much agreed. Crazy situation a little bit, but
It is.
my like I said, I stand on my original feeling. I don't love it. I really don't. But that's because I'm of the mindset that when we break up, we all break up. I can still have a relationship with his mom, but it's not going to be as close. And it's better for me that way. Because having a connection to my ex's family that's really close, I think in some ways it hinders me from moving on. It hinders me from possibly dating and taking a new person serious because some part of me is still stuck with my last relationship. And that may not be the case for you, for somebody else. But for me, it just won't allow me to fully move on. And I also don't want to explain to a new man who I really like why I hang out with my ex's family members so very much.
Yeah.
If that's an exception, cool. But then it just becomes, it can become weird. Because let's say she gets a man and then she bring her man to her ex's family function. And now your ex is there with their current and I'm there with my current. It don't have to be weird, but
Yeah.
it's probably going to be a little weird.
I wonder if, because Leah's been with this man for 4 years. So the fact that it seems like it's still fairly like a recent thing that could possibly happen is very odd to me.
Yeah.
But I wonder if while he was single and recently broke up with a girl, if they still invited her to family functions. Because if that's so, then the family a little messy.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
You're saying like if
before he got with Lee, if he was still single and they had broke up, was she still getting invited to family functions?
Right. Yeah.
And from what I see in the situation is that it's possible that if she's getting invited to family functions still, that the family probably tried to get them back together at some point or played a part in that, I would assume. If they love her this much that she's still coming around, that originally when they broke up and they were both single at that point, that it was possible that they were trying to like, oh, what happened? We loved her. Like what really went into it and stuff like that. Like, so I understand how it could feel awkward, but I just think that, as long as your boyfriend expressed to the family, like you said, he did, like this is not something that we shouldn't have her here. That makes my current girlfriend feel uncomfortable for obvious reasons. Yeah, she shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
And as long as your man expressed that, outside of that, there's not much else he can do. He can't stop the sister from hanging out individually with the girl.
Can't. Nope.
They can't do it.
He cannot do it. He can't.
Also, one thing you can do too, which could help you, is, of course, it'll look shady if you unfollow the sister on social media or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you can mute people's posts and mute people's stories so you don't see any of it. So you don't have to see her hanging out with the sister and them on vacation and all that stuff like that. Like, you can just mute that stuff. So you don't unfollow them, but you just mute it so you don't have to see it.
Right.
So then you don't even know if they're hanging out or doing anything. Like, for all you know,
They just don't post like that.
they don't even
Child,
see
I
each other.
love to mute people. Woo!
Yeah, I got a few people muted.
Yes, I do. I'm good on it. I don't need the distraction. I don't need my mind running wild with what I'm seeing. Like, mute. We're still connected. And if I see you because you message me or whatever, then cool. But other than that, it's sleepy time for y'all. Sleepy time.
For sure.
I got at least 10 people muted. Just, I don't necessarily enjoy what they post. But I like them.
But you're going to follow them.
Yeah. I want to maintain a connection with them, but I just don't need to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's swag. So Lee, I mean, hope we were able to help. It is awkward. We understand both sides of it, but hopefully with some communication, things can get a little bit better.
And just keep in mind, you got the prize. You won. You got the man. She can have a family. If you ever get into it and y'all get into it, be like, you thought all them connections with mom and sister and you still ain't got them. Like,
there you go.
That's the real.
Dre gave you some fighting words.
That's the real. I mean, like,
Dre gave you some fighting words.
She would probably love to be in your position, it seemed like.
Perhaps.
But
perhaps.
You in good space, you got a good one and you happy. So
Yep.
that's all that matters.
That's
That's
true.
the thing with family, is that how often do you really see them and interact with them, right?
Right. It's usually like major things. Unless it is a really close family, which I feel like a lot of families aren't.
Yeah.
They're like close, normal close.
Yeah,
Thanksgiving,
normal close.
Christmas, birthdays. There are other families that are like, we eat together every single weekend and we take 5 family trips together a year. If that's the type of family he's got,
Then it's probably a little bit more intense.
Yes.
But if it's the normal, like, close family to where it's like you over there on holidays or special events, but if he's going over there, he's just going over there. It's probably solo to just spend time with mom or stuff like that. Then it's not even that big of a deal on a normal basis. You know?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
Don't stress.
Like my
about
ex told me, I was so scared to meet his daughters when we were dating. And I was like, you think they're going to like me? And he was like, babe, even if they don't, I'm going to still date you. So it doesn't matter. Like, I do want them to like you. I think it's cool, but if they don't, it's not going to sway my decision. They're adults. I like you. That's that on that. Thankfully they did. And we had a great relationship, but, like even that, like I had a great relationship with his daughters.
Yeah.
And I could have possibly maintained a relationship with them, but I didn't. I didn't. Like we're cordial. Like if I wanted to text either of them right now, I could, or call them and say, hey, how you doing? How you been? I could do that. But for the sake of both of us just moving on and not having to explain any of that, I can wish them well and want all the best for them without being actively in their lives.
Yeah.
But that's just me and my mama, because my mama don't play them games either. She be like, you done with them? Oh, okay, then we done with them. That's
Makes sense.
That's my mom. That's my mama. Shout out to my mama. Love you,
Shout
girl.
out to her.
Well, Lee, we hope we were able to help you. If you have a real love scenario and you want to write into us, visit us at www.relationshipstore.com. Click the contact button, write in. Do not forget to include your ages or age range. It helps us out a lot. You can also follow us on social. What am I on social? Ronnie Cakes.
That is Dre Smith.
And at Relationship Restored. See you next time.
See you.